Peace, 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 people. I want to do a reaction to Yvette Carnell's previous video 3 days ago where she was talking about the OMB decision. I'm not quite sure what the OMB stands for, but it has something to do with delineation, with trying to separate ourselves from all foreign blacks that come to America. We are trying to get delineation or a way of describing ourselves, designating our own identity, which seems to be a harder feat because of the ignorance of Pan-Africans, the ignorance of people playing dumb that supposedly are leaders. They are trying to make it harder than what it has to be, but we're going to go over her video for her to explain it a little bit better, and I'll do a response to that. If you have not yet, please like and share the video. Please subscribe to my channel. This is For Black Righteous Folks Home, short for For Black. And this conversation should have been had, I would say 10, 15, 20 years ago, but we're late to the party. There is a reason for us wanting to have our own identity because everybody else has their own identity before they come to America. And for people to now have an issue with us wanting to name ourselves or identify ourselves is very mind-blowing to me. It shows that they have an ulterior motive, and that motive is to keep us at the base, at the bottom. It is not wanting to have us to have any type of pride within ourselves, because if you don't have an identity, what do you have? How can you be prideful over yourself if you don't have an identity? So let's just take a listen to this. Fair use of video for educational purposes, for research purposes, observational purposes under 107 of the Copyright Act of 1969, all for fair use. What's up, Miss D? And this is for either you or somebody else that suggested I do this video. Thank you for this suggestion. I was going to do it, but anyways, here we go.
How you doing? I want to thank everybody for the birthday wishes. It was wonderful, wonderful hearing from everybody. I want to thank y'all for that. I appreciate it. I just want y'all to know I appreciate it. Thank y'all for that. And listen, the OMB came in and gave me another birthday gift right on March the 20th. Right on March 28th, right before March 29th, they came in and gave me another birthday gift. And let me tell you, fam, I do consider it a gift. I do consider it a gift. I believe, listen, I may be different. I'm one of those people who I believe in symbolism. I kind of believe in that. I've always have. And that came, listen, they said summer for that decision. That came March 28th. March 29th is Yvette Carnell's birthday. So listen, I do believe in symbolism. I do believe that it was a birthday gift because it gives us a pathway. Now, fam, listen, I want everybody to, I know that when people were hurt, and I kind of wanted to go live, and I said, no, I had a lot of other stuff to do too. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm not going live. No, because of the birthday, I had a lot of stuff to do too. So, I as we talk about this today, I want everybody to start to understand why I said what I said early on. Early on, I said something. I said that this is a marathon. It's not going to be a sprint. It's not intended to be a sprint. It's never going to be a sprint. That's not what's going to happen. And if you expect it to be a sprint, and if you expect that you can get there being led by people who do not have expertise, if you expect this not to be hard, you in trouble, because there is nothing that we have done that has not been hard. Listen, this thing came on my birthday and at Easter. What? I mean, I don't understand. At Easter, resurrection, thought it was dead. Jesus rose, supposed to be dead, resurrected at Easter. Come on, man. Like, listen, I'm fine with it. I'm good with it. And let me just, for those of you all who didn't see a lot of the stuff, this was the question: how can federal surveys or forms collect data to relate it to descent from enslaved peoples originally from the African continent? For example, when collecting and coding responses, what term best describes the population group? American descendants of slavery, American freedmen, or something else? How should this group be defined? Should it be collected? Should it be collected as a detailed group within Black or African American minimum categories, or through a separate question or approach? This was the question. Now, fam, I have to say something. I'm gonna get into saying something, and people, I'm not trying to make nobody upset. Understand, I don't hold any particular animus. I'm gonna tell you why I did everything I've done. I'm gonna be totally transparent and why I did everything I have done. Now, you go to this next one. Now I want to show you all where some people screwed the pooch. Some people screwed the pooch. The majority of the public input on this subject expressed support for adding a category or question to identify descendants of persons enslaved in the United States. Right? There was support for terms including foundational Black American. Now hold on one second, fam. Here's where everybody screwed the pooch. We're gonna talk about you. We're gonna talk about you because some of y'all have gotten in the way, and I told you early on you were going to get in the way. Listen, some things that people have to understand. Some things that people have to understand is that just because you are not big enough, to make it happen and to get us disaggregated, it doesn't mean you're not big enough to get in the way of this aggregation. And at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, does this really mean something to me, or am I just a fanatic for a certain person? Do I really want this thing to happen for my people, or am I just a sort of fanatic for a certain person who I like? Listen, I told y'all a time ago, I'm just going to talk about it. I told y'all a long time ago, and we told y'all, ADOS people in the chat, we told y'all that Tariq Nasheed was not serious. He doesn't do politics. The genesis of this was me saying Obama's not African American in 2010. Antonio comes with this understanding of data that is genius. We come together and we put together something that changes the way people operate. That's what it is. I don't care what you want to call it. That's what it is. Now, that's not about taking credit. That's about understanding who Tariq is. This is somebody who made documentaries or whatever. And then when he had a rally. I want to know what was the effect of that rally, because I can tell you how many people we trained at the ADOS Advocacy Foundation. See, we didn't just have people calling in wild, not knowing what to say. We didn't just have people calling in saying, I want Negro, I want LPA. We trained you on what they were expecting. That's called organizing. That's called political organizing. And shout out to everybody at ADOS AM who do this work for free, who do this work for absolutely free. Shout out to y'all. This is not something we told you all a long time. Listen, you can, if you want to watch Tariq, you can. If you want to go do whatever you want to do on this YouTube, you can do it. But we told y'all he's not a political person, he's not a political animal, and he's not going to do politics. And if you join forces with him, you're joining forces with failure in terms of politics. He didn't give y'all a way forward. He uses that term that he took from Dr. Claude Anderson, and he uses that term, right, that he took from Dr. Claude Anderson because to make money and open restaurants and nightclubs and all that other stuff. But it's not being used for you. It's not being used for political advancement, because that person's not a political person. And it's part of the reason that you think that you're not getting taken seriously by these people, right? So I want everybody to think about that. I said this. These people are saboteurs. I have heard people, these people are agents of chaos. That's what he is. You have to understand what a person is. Even if you want to continue to support the person, you have to understand what they are. Because what they're saying here, let me bring it back up again. What they're saying here, there was support for terms including foundational Black American, American descendants of slavery, American freedmen, Black, Black American, African American, Negro, or American Negro. This is stupid. And it pissed me off. Like, we're going to talk about the legacy orgs in a minute who did this stuff, but this is stupid. I can go back to all of you all's account and have you and show you tweeting ADOS in 2018 and 19. And there was nothing wrong with the term. There was something wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with the term. Listen, everybody's first tweet was an ADOS tweet. Everybody's first tweet was an ADOS tweet. Your first tweet wasn't no FBA tweet. Tariq's first tweet wasn't no FBA tweet. He did that. He went to that because what? Because we wouldn't let him grift off the ADOS movement. That's why. It was just, you can't make money, you can't sell deodorant, you can't do it over here. That's not what we're about. We're not going to let you bastardize it. That's why he went and said, oh, I'm going to take Dr. Claude Anderson's. But Dr. Claude Anderson is not the one leading this path. He's not the one leading to the OMB. Somebody has to lead you somewhere. Everybody got to have that. And I'm not talking about just me. Everybody, I'm talking about event. Don't be dumb. I'm talking about everybody inside the movement who put together the trainings, who held trainings back to back to back for people not only to call in. We called in and we wrote letters. And we coach people how to write those letters. That's how you get the designation. You don't get it one day finding out late. I remember Tariq found out on a broadcast. What the hell? I heard they have something next week. Y'all better call in. They having something next week. I heard. I don't know what. Yeah, of course you didn't know, Tariq. He called here and said to the last minute, and he told the people to come sabotage. Hey, those of you all who are down with Tariq, y'all better get your life together, because y'all are in any better economic position than the rest of us, and you're gonna have a problem if you keep following somebody who only wants to do GoFundMe and Indiegogo's. That's not where we are anymore. I shouldn't even have to put that man's name in my mouth. They said they used that. There's disagreement on the term. And you Negroes who use the American Negro term, I want to slap the taste out of your mouth. Because if you cared about that term, you would have been there when Obama decided to take it out. The Obama administration said, we're going to get rid of Negro. And none of you all who like the American Negro wanted that term. You know why? A lot of you all are far more concerned with beating ADOS and getting some grant money and just being than you are with actually getting the thing that you say you want. You are far more concerned with defeating ADOS and being the head of the perch than actually getting the thing that your kid needs to survive. Listen, this is what it is. I'm going to stay here for a minute. Even with your freedmen, there was nothing wrong with ADOS. You all wanted to go lead. And I said, go build. And guess what we learned after you went to build? Anybody want to guess? It didn't work. Now, I'm not saying that to be mean to you. I'm offering you an olive branch tonight. Olive branch on olive branch on olive branch. Because I said, people think I said, Yvette said go build to us just to be mean to us. She's so mean. She's nasty. No, most of you all, Friday Jones, where you at? You made an announcement on Twitter when you blocked me. I didn't block. That was you. You did that. Like, some of y'all got to own the way you left and how you left and why you left. But I said, hey, instead of just talking about me all day, go build. Instead of having Yvette Carnell be your obsession, go build. Go do it. And when you went and build, you realize something. And I'm not even making fun of nobody. I don't want anybody to interpret it that way, because that's not where I'm at right now. I'm willing to make peace with anybody right now to get what's necessary for my people. I'm doing what some of you all seem incapable of doing, because I've seen some of the comments that I've just deleted them and hid you from the page. I don't know why people think that's always going to fly. But listen, I have seen it. So I told you to go build because I know you don't have the capacity. And that's what we saw. When you had the California reparation, you couldn't fill up the rooms, right? You have, what's his name, Chad Boogie going around now saying, oh, we're going to do it. We get lineage. Where did you get the idea of lineage from? You all, imagine competing when you were at the conference, crying to me, telling me, oh, my God, Yvette, I had never thought about it this way. And now you are competing with me. This is stupid. Hey, anybody who wants to work on behalf of collective uplift, you're welcome here. You are welcome here. You ain't never got to see my face. We have enough people in the org that you can work with. You ain't never got to look at me, and I ain't never got to look at you. But at some point, we have to decide that this movement, that what we want for our people is more important than this disagreement. At some point, you have to decide that overtaking the National Urban League is more important to you, and overtaking the NAACP is more important to you than taking over Yvette D. Carnell. Am I that important to you? You got to get rid of that obsession. You got to get rid of that. You got to do something about that. Say, however, there was disagreement about which term is preferred. Listen, there was nothing wrong with the term that we started with. There is nothing wrong with the term that got us here. There is nothing wrong with the people who got us here. Y'all are going to get us in trouble. You already did. There was disagreement about
right now. It seems as if she's just ranting. I'm having a hard time hearing it. I don't know if you guys are hearing it very well. I hope so. Let me see what you guys are saying. Thank you for the suggestion, Miss D. You said our so-called civil rights groups sold us out. They all have. What's up, Meb B? How are you doing? You said most of our history didn't come from Africa. Most was already here. Yes, I know. But everybody wants us to think about Africa first. It's really weird what's going on. I hope she gets to the point where she's going to explain what OBM is, or OMB. She never really specified what that was. Do you know what that stands for, Misty? Because I'm having a hard time even figuring that part out. You said Yvette Carnell flipped DOAS, Descendants of American Slaves, from Sandy Darity. Mid B says, so didn't she take the movement from Dr. Claude Anderson? I don't know. I really haven't really listened up on Dr. I've heard a lot about him, but I've really never really listened to him that much. The ADOS Advocacy Foundation is an organization that advocates for all melanated people, including immigrants. They call it a Black agenda, although Yvette said we need to drop the term Black. I don't trust Yvette Carnell for some reason. I really feel like she's been used as an agent just to give us a space to vent, but not really do anything. But the appearance that she is, or claiming that she's doing something. I mean, after 4 years of having ADOS, what has she done? What has she accomplished? That may be true, but most people had a problem with you changing ADOS to a political organization with chapters, and especially not seeing what she's intending to do. I don't know what she's up to. I really am confused on what she's doing. Dr. Claude Anderson was trying to warn Blacks years ago. She's always said that she was the genesis for this movement. It's not true. It's sort of narcissistic. Okay. Probably is. The NAACP been pushing we are immigrants like Africans and Caribbeans. Yes, that's what they've been trying to do right now. We can HWAR fine. I don't know what that means. I just like Foundational Black America. OMB means Office of Management and Budget. Oh, that's what it means? Okay, I hope you guys can hear this. I hope she's going to get to a point where it makes sense.
Commenters describe the importance of collecting these data and the values for data users, and policymakers pointed to existing research that shows differences in outcomes, measures income, wealth, etc., etc. Like income and wealth, and stated that descendants of persons who were enslaved in the United States are ethnically distinct from African immigrants. Absolutely right. But where did that come from? That came from us. That came from Antonio and Yvette, and people lifted it and decided they were going to go do their own thing. Okay, good, go build. It didn't work. You don't have the capacity. You don't have the capacity to do what we did, and you've already shown that. Chris Loxton, we saw you going from room to room to room to room, you went in meetings twice. And then y'all did all that stuff to say you supported American freedmen, and then went in there and didn't support American freedmen. So it was just there to hurt us. It did not help. You went in there and said you made a big thing and with the OMB competing with us and saying you wanted American freedmen. And then when it came time, you said you called in and said, I just African American, and I just don't know, and I just, okay, I'm hanging up now. Choctaw. And you wonder why. You wonder why people say, y'all don't even have y'all stuff together. So how are we really supposed to take this if you don't have your own stuff together? Other commenters, including civil rights groups, opposed the collection of data. Commenters expressed concern about the difficulty of verifying that identification is accurate. We don't know if any identification is accurate. People call themselves Latinos all the time, and I don't know. They be white, it's everything. So I do not know. The usefulness, necessity of the data, the exclusion of other groups, historically enslaved people, and the creation of confusion that could make the Black or African American community harder to count. It doesn't make us harder to count. Everybody else is disaggregated. This is the result of these civil rights groups. We're going to get them too. They getting the smoke too, but it's a lot of smoke to go around today. There was, oh gosh, particularly black or African immigrants. How in the world are African immigrants hard to count? They didn't get here to 2000, majority of them, and the rest of them came after 1990. You're not hard to count. You just got here. The plane is still hot. The engine is still warm. You are not hard to count. The group that came, and there were nearly none of them here pre-1965. So we can go to 1965 and we can figure out who all these civil rights groups are awful. And y'all are giving them a play day. Not the people in the chat who do this. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about these people who decided they would just go put their name on something that we created. Don't do that. We're all just going to fail because you're running around. You don't have the capacity. It's time. Listen. Oh, I get hot as fish grease sometimes. But it's time to just take a little assessment of your capacity. You tried to do it in California. Part of the thing that happened, and I talked to reporters. I talked to a CNN reporter. I talked to an AP reporter, and both of them said to me, "Well, we just don't see a lot of passion around it. We expected to see more people." They understood that you don't have the capacity. And what have I always said, ladies and gentlemen? Pressure busts pipes. You don't have the pressure. And everything that we have to do going forward has to be a national movement. You are not going to be able to do it piecemeal. We're going against the most sophisticated white supremacist government in America. You are not going to be able to do this piecemeal. And if you believe that, then you are crazy. You are not going to get to this aggregation by just going around being mad at Yvette. Well, I tell you what she did, I tell you what she said, and it don't matter whether you blocked on Twitter. That don't matter. There's a whole world outside of Twitter. What do the young folks say? Go touch grass. There's a whole way to do work outside of Twitter. My email is YvetteCarnell@ADOSFoundation.org. You don't have to have Twitter to do the work. I knew this was going to happen. That's why I said go build. Let's go see what the capacity is. Let's go see how much capacity you're able to build. Not much. These grudges. Gosh. The comments noted lack of in-depth research and engagement with the diverse Black or African-American community terminology, definition and data collection, coding, protocol, as well as implication on the count of other Black or African-American diasporic. The diasporic is centered. Meanwhile, you got people who was at the ADOS conference over talking about, I don't know what they got to do. Working group final recommendation. The working group did not recommend this aggregation of the Black or African American category by descent for persons who were enslaved in the United States. They identified this aggregation of Black or African American population groups as a priority area for future research and noted that additional stakeholder engagement is needed. Now, what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is we got a shot. That's exactly what that means. That means we got a chance. But that's Easter. That's Easter. That's giving me life. But it means that we got to be a stakeholder. It means that we got to take over these civil rights organs. Let me show you what they did. You gonna believe it. I know y'all gonna believe it. But let me show you what they did. But it means that we have to overtake them. So the people who are out here giving everything names and stuff like that, you have to ask yourself at a certain point, what is most important to you? Is it most important to you getting what we deserve and having a new hierarchy in this country in terms of ADOS and the American descendants of slavery, or is it more important to our show event? What's most important to you? I just want to know, because I can't tell. The fact that they noted it, the fact that you know, go ahead.
She seems so scatterbrained to me. I don't even know what this live right here. She's not really saying too much right now. She's all over the place. Let me see what you guys are saying, because I'm having a hard time keeping up. Other than saying that too many people are not in agreement to what we want to call ourselves, that's the only thing I'm gathering, and that this is going to continue to be an issue to where it's going to be left unchanged from what I'm gathering from what she's saying, because nobody is sure on what they want to be and how they want to be defined as. That's why I say personally, individually, I think that we should self-identify ourselves because of all this confusion. Go to a post office, self-declare your own identity, get it notarized, sign it in front of a witness, save that in a file for safekeeping for the future, because I think that we will eventually need it. Because for whatever reason, they're not allowing us to simply separate ourselves from other foreign blacks. And it's done on purpose. This is being done on purpose. Let me see. Mebby says, I agree with you about Yvette. She doesn't really seem like she's doing anything. She's just doing a whole lot of rambling. I couldn't find that raw it's not talking about the topic right now, though, Lynn. So I don't even know what video you mean, but it's not on the topic right now. Born Critic, I used to listen to her. At first, ADOS was a lineage identifier like FBA. Then it became an organization. Some didn't agree with that because of those in charge. Yeah, I think the people that's over these so-called organizations are not sound leaders. They're just scatterbrained. You said the U.S. government want these African and Caribbean immigrants to blend in with us and eventually take over our identity. That's exactly what it looks like to me. That's what it's starting to look like to me. Keep listening, Oak Tree. Born Critic, Lynn, yes, this. Then everyone started to argue instead of coming together on what would legally work. Egos were the problem with OMB issue. It seems like somebody is trying to take the oxygen out of the room. I don't know if FBA has to do with this or what, but the confusion is not going to get sorted out by Yvette Carnell. You said, I have noticed that the second generation of the immigrants are lost in this country. They don't want their culture, and they don't have a history or any accomplishments in this country. And Born Critic says some people had great ideas for a solution, but they didn't have huge followers and no one listened to them. This is getting hard. I might have to switch this video to the other video I was going to do instead today, because I'm having a hard time even following what she's saying, because she's just doing a lot of ramble. Let's listen a little bit more and see if it's going to make sense.
It's called in with FBA. You all are morons. I'm sorry. The fact that y'all did that, the fact that y'all can't, do you know now, like, if you didn't, even if you didn't see it then, let's say for whatever reason you didn't see it when it happened, you should be able to see now, man. You're right, Yvette. Tariq didn't do anything. He said he was gone. He didn't do anything, because you have to do, you can't go around hollering reparation. You can't just, you can't parrot me all the time. Like, parroting me is good marketing, and that's what Tariq uses this for. It's marketing. Parroting me is a good way to get grant money. It's a good way to get, it used to be a good way to get Liberation Ventures money. It's a good way to do that, but it's not a good way to get to the end goal, which is the finish line. If he wants to, so those of you all who went with Tariq, regardless of what you like me, regardless of what little name he came up for to call me, because he's 13 years old, who cares? I don't sit around. I don't stay up at night because Tariq called me a name. That's a 55-year-old man. Who gives a flying what he calls me, child? So, and he's 10 years away from Social Security. I don't care. Like, and I'm grown too, so I don't care. I just think, oh, he's a child. That's what I think when I hear it. But the question becomes, for those of you all who decided that you were going to go with him, what has he done politically to get us anywhere closer to this aggregation? Because this aggregation is how you get to reparations. That's the path. You have to establish yourself as a group. You have to
And see, that's the thing that I am against. It's not just reparations that I am trying to distinguish myself from immigrants. I'm trying to have my own identity, because we had our own identity until they came over here, using the terms of Black American, African American, making it the confusion be here now. Now they're claiming we're having an identity crisis when they cannot simply use their own identities that they came with from Africa, from the Caribbeans. They caused the confusion with the name. And it's bigger than reparations. We don't want our identity to go away to nothing. Everybody using our identity means we're a blob of nothing. That's what I want to have a distinguished to distinguish me from an immigrant. I don't want no confusion on who just got here, who's been here, who's the history of this country. And for people to just act like it's no big thing, it's going to be a big thing sooner or later. And this confusion is done on purpose. And we got nutty bar people that are just scrambling about on YouTube, appearing to care, appearing to really be about helping us out. But from what they're doing, they're just bringing a lot more confusion to the conversation than anything.
To harm. The only thing he did was go to DC with a black suit and brown shoes and jump around the stage. That's not it. Then he said, hey, we got to support each other. You got to give me the money for the juke joint. I'm telling you, that's just not it. So you don't have to tell me that you were wrong. You just have to know it in your head. Yeah, because I told you in 2019, he's never going to do anything about this. He's just going to use it for marketing, for product. So now we done had all kind of deodorant. We done had all kind of stuff. What you haven't had is real advocacy. And somebody just talking on YouTube is not advocacy. That's political awareness, where I parrot the talking points of Yvette D. Carnell. Even me talking, it was raising awareness and it was giving you education. But at a certain point, I said, if we want to move it, it's got to be more than that. It's got to be more than that. And that's what it entails. Right? But a priority for future research means that now we have to prove it to you. Right? But what have I always said? Fam, what have I always said? We either rise together or we fall together. I have always said that. I have always maintained that. I always have. And that's still true. I'm done fighting you and fighting the civil rights organizations and fighting white folks. That's three things. I ain't got but two hands to punch with. I'm tired of y'all. Y'all are a nuisance. And you could be doing stuff here, right? You ain't got, like I said, you ain't got to see me. I ain't got to talk to you ever in this life. We never have to meet. At a certain point, though, like there are business people who hate each other, who say, hey, it's business. This is politics. It's just politics. I don't even really have to know that you're here. We have chapters across the country now, and we expect to have at least another 8 or 9 in 2024. You don't have that capacity, and it's time to just.
And what are these chapters going to do for us? Well, how is it going to assist us? I don't get it. She's never expressed what these chapters are supposed to do, what they're supposed to facilitate, what they're supposed to, unify to go do. Ultimately, what's the point? I don't get it. Do you guys know what the point of the chapters are? Have you guys looked into that before? Let me know.
You know what? I don't. I'll go back over here and do whatever work I can do over here. Because my people. Listen, I can hold my nose and deal with anybody. But I told you to go build because I knew how I was going to. I wish they hadn't, but some people need to learn. It's just like sometimes you have to tell a kid, like, go try it and go see how they do. And then they be like, oh, it didn't work out. Yeah, okay, well, let's talk about now how it can be done better. Sometimes that's the best way to teach people. It's not always an insult. It's like, go build. Let's see how it works out. Let's see how many people you can get in that room. Let's see if you can create an influx. Let's see if you can be in all the New York Times and all the papers. Let's see if you can do that. And it's not even a knock right now. It's just saying that is what it is. That's where we are. I have a right to be frustrated, though. But, like, we are where we are. The question becomes, how do we move forward? And it ain't with no state-by-state stuff. Stuff happens, big stuff happens through national movements. OMB concurs with this recommendation, with the working group determination that further research is needed. Individuals and civil rights groups disagreed on whether or how to implement this potential revision. I saw somewhat when I was looking too that National Urban League did this in 1997 too. Somebody go look that up, because I saw the Urban League. They said they did this and they opposed this aggregation of blackness in 1997. We note that the revised SPD does not prohibit agencies from asking additional questions related to race, ethnicity, ancestry, or other related concepts, including descent from persons who are enslaved in the United States. We also note that the revised SPD 15 maintains the long-standing position that race and ethnicity categories are not to be used. We didn't ask you about none of that. The race and ethnicity categories are not to be used as determinants for eligibility of federal programs. See, that's a problem. See, woo. I ain't gonna get into that. That's another show. Again, they get into we don't know which terms and all this stuff. So I'm not gonna get too much into that because I want to get through it. They have to do additional research, identifying best practices, all that kind of stuff. So they have to do additional research from Afro-descended population, exploring options to support greater disaggregation of data, understanding how respondents interpret language, e.g. origins of the people of, all of that stuff. So they're saying we got to do more. That part is good. Now we saw the National Urban League come out early on, right, and ask for an extension with NALEO. That's who. So they don't work with us. They work with NALEO and stuff. So we saw them, but that's not the worst part, fam. You might think, oh, them coming out and ask for the extension, they got caught flat-footed. But let me show you some of the worst parts. There were a few parts. So this memo right here is very interesting. This memo right here is very interesting. The National Urban League and the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation. Well, let me tell you the one thing about both of these organizations, right? And they're talking, this is April 2023, and they're talking about what they feel should happen in terms of race and ethnicity. Now, first of all, neither of these groups, the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation is one woman, that's Melanie Campbell. I had a lot of contact with Melanie at a previous job. She's one of the ones, listen, never mind, I ain't gonna say it. Yvette, don't say it. But listen, Mark Morial, they don't have grassroots support. So right now, the only thing that they are doing is fighting the grassroots. These are not organizations that have a mass of support. I don't even think the Coalition for Black Civic Participation has more than one person. I think it's like a lot of these new orgs that started. It's one person on paper. The National Urban League doesn't have mass support. None of these groups do. But let me show you what they're going to do. So they start off kind of cool, right? They start off talking. Because MENA done made everybody a minority now. You know that, right? So you have to be ADOS now because in MENA, that stuff made everybody a minority. Everybody get what they want. So this is their letter, and it's so interesting. If you have the opportunity, I might put a link in there because you got to go read this. This thing is race and ethnicity are two separate concepts. They get into that, right? In their placement on the census questionnaire, okay, they get into that. Every U.S. resident should be provided the opportunity to self-identify by race and ethnicity and should be accurately coded and reflected by the data. They get into that. Clear guidance. They get into that. Okay, so this is where we are. This is where we are. They're gonna get into it though. They're gonna get into it. This is some meaner stuff too. So let me go to the next one. I'm just kind of going through it a little bit. So there is concern now. There is concern that the initial proposal of a combined race and ethnicity question that allows for the selection of one or more race and ethnicities may negatively impact the ability of African diasporic respondents in the U.S. to accurately self-report on all aspects of their identity due to census methodology and coding. For example, there is concern whether Afro-Latinos see themselves in the Black African American racial category because there are no Afro-Latino examples. Listen, Black immigrants represent 10% of the Black population. I'm skipping a little bit, y'all, so stay with me. Black immigrants represent at least 10% of the Black population, a rapidly growing percentage. In addition, racially diverse immigrants from Latin and South America. This is all immigration. This is all immigrant stuff, right? Like you see, they deal with MENA and they deal with Black immigrants, and that's their priority. Listen, I'm waiting for the memo. I'm Somebody has to give me the memo, right? Somebody has to give me the memo showing somebody tell them that, like, you don't represent ADOS no more. You only represent immigrants, right? And I understand what they really want is for making sure a lot of Afro-Latinos are counted as black so we get more resources. But there's no concern about ADOS because we were still going to be in the black category. There's no concern about us as they speak. This is their letter. This is what your civil rights organizations are saying about you.
And I recognized this early on. In fact, 2021 of April 9th to be precise, of 2021 is when I went personally to a post office. You can ask them, do they do notary services? And if they do, wherever you can go get it notarized, declare your own identity. Say, to whom it may concern, your name, tell them what you want to be identified. Then they stamp it and you sign it in front of the notary person and you put that in a file, because I believe later on down the line that this confusion about our identity is going to come back up again. And I believe that they're going to try to change our identity again. They've been changing our identity over and over and over again. What's one more time in their mind, right? If you put this and notarize it, you can have a claim to go to court and fight it. You can say, no, I'm not an African. No, I'm not this. No, I'm not that. Don't classify me as that. Just think about all the transsexuals and gay people that have changed their sex. They have laws behind them. We don't have no such thing. We're left out in the open. We have to be proactive and do what I'm going to read a little bit of what I wrote. Hold on. To give you an idea. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to give you an idea of what you can say. To whom it may concern, my name, I put down AKA for Black Righteous Folks Home, status on birth certificate as a Black American, which I will give an official legal name on upcoming documents for notary or other governmental notices to alert the government of America and all others for the purposes of my declaration of identity. My name, declare under God, perjury the world, presiding over law and natural rights as a human being of the United States of America. I choose to self-identify myself as indigenous aboriginal citizen of the United States of America and not Africa or any of its jurisdictions. I reject any person or group who chose to identify themselves as African, Hebrew Israelite, Nation of Islam, or any other nation or status. I have not chosen myself. I intend to self-identify myself as what is written. I have witnessed approximately 3 years, various belief systems exhibited on social media, contrary to my belief. I give no extension of their belief to somehow attach itself to mine. I strongly reject and bar any belief system someone else believes to be applied to my status nor identity. I choose solely to classify myself as Aboriginal, Indigenous to America, and never ever African. I give absolutely no allegiance to Africa for any financial liability nor any connection whatsoever. And I went on to explain my childhood, upbringing, and children's home and whatnot. And I also went on to say that I reserve the right to select the system of my choice or nation for status or identification. I wish not to block anyone's right to choose their identity, and I firmly intend to choose also my own identity. I reject all Pan-Africans, petitions, or any other document claiming to include African Americans for legislations or tamperings of the Constitution. That name of African American was applied to me without my consent. And I went on to the history of what that name to me means. And you know, my father told me that I have Indian in my great grandparent is a Cherokee Indian, is what he told me when I was 17. Anyways, I went on to end it saying, if transgender persons can transition and identify contrary to what she was born as, I too have the right to choose my identity solely. I give no allowance to change my identity by any movement, trend, or social media. I also reject any legislation relabeling me anything other than what I will officially choose. For now, I declare I am Indigenous, Aboriginal, Native, Black American. And I signed it. I got an official notarized certificate of acknowledgement is what it's called. And then they stamped it, and then I signed it, and then he signed it, and it was written out, and it was done on April 9th. This is what I did because I see the mess going on social media. I hear the tug of warring going on about our identity. And I don't want nobody just swooping in that's a stranger from another land talking about we gonna name you over again against my will. I'll be damned if I'm gonna sit back and let that happen. And I'm trying to encourage y'all to do the same thing. You can do it. It doesn't cost that much money. I think like $5 to get it notarized. You don't even have to type it out. You can just write it in print. Just write it and don't sign it though. Wait to sign it when you go to the notary place or the post office. That's where I got mine's done. Then you sign it, you let him read it or her read it, and then you sign it in front of them. And then they put a stamp on there and you put that in a nice little file for safekeeping in case this shit hits the fan, because no one is a real leader in our community no more. We have every group, every organization that is now rigged and geared to helping immigrants. They have ignored us. They have bypassed us. They're just having us sitting there looking crazy. And I feel that if all y'all, and what I did is I submitted that letter that I wrote alongside of another letter to the Black Caucus. I sent one to a district attorney, just so that they know, and I might send it out to other places, but I just did those 2 places so far. The point is that we have to be proactive in self-identifying ourselves, because people are running all over us. They're bulldozing over us. And I feel in my spirit, I don't know when it's going to happen, but one of these times we're going to wake up like we did one morning and we heard African-American term just pushed onto us against my will. I'm not having that happen again. I will go to court over my identity. I will fight for my identity. I don't care what other people feel like I should want to be this and that. That's not your business. People are trying to bully us and force us into being something that we're not, trying to claim we're African suddenly. We don't have nothing resembling African culture, nothing to do with their language, nothing to do with their history, nothing to do with their future. What happens in Africa, it's not going to affect me. I don't care. So it's up to us to put our own identity and mark it down so that if this hits the fan, we'll have something to go off of legally. If you don't, you're just taking chances and believing in the likes of Tariq Nasheed, who was a past pimp, or Mac. And you're leaving it to chance with the past woman, Yvette Carnell, that used to work for Capitol Hill. She's had that term ADOS for 4 or 5 years, and she's talking about chapters. She's not doing anything for us aggressively. She has a so-called lawyer, but yet she doesn't know what to do. And I think that she is an agent sent to keep us confused and thinking we're doing something. That's what I really think she's there for. I don't trust her. I really don't. Let me see what you guys are saying. How you doing, Afro Goddess? Thank you for coming through. Let me hear. Let me go back up. FBA never called themselves a political group. I think I read that. Are you seriously arguing that Africans and Caribbeans aren't black? They're not our black. They're not the black that was designated to us by our government. You guys had your own identity when you came to America, so you're not the same as us. Yvette has good points, but the same thing is she accused Tariq of she does. She wants to be the leader, but we need results. Exactly. She hasn't done anything in 4 or 5 years. I don't trust her. It's not complicated. Asians are listed under different names. It was mainly Pan-Africans and freedmen that really screwed up, my opinion. Okay, you think the freedmen screwed up? How did the freedmen screw up? They say so themselves. They identify by tribe or country. Black is our ethnicity here in America, period. Exactly. We were the only ones known as black. Suddenly it's become popularized that anyone, anywhere, is now using the term black. You guys have always had the Caribbean name or your tribe name or your landmass where you come from. That's all I ever heard. And then the last 10 years it's changed. Suddenly everybody wants to be black. Yvette is working to get reparations for us. She spoke at the OMB and Tariq's dumbass people and the CBC and NAACP Urban League spoke against her. Wow. I really am not following what she's saying because she's just ranting though. I don't know. Black is more than a skin color in this country. Black is a ethnonym, Lynn says. Super Black says, so Nigerians or Jamaicans aren't black people? Is that what we are seriously trying to say? They're not the same black as what it's meant in this country. Black does not mean African, by the way, Super Black, if that's what you think. Black is a governmental name that was issued to Black Americans as a category. It is our ethnicity. It's been our ethnicity for a long time. You guys had another identity. You don't need to use black. You're choosing now to say black. Suddenly. You said, Born Critic says, that's what confused me. If ADOS is political and FBA is another name for lineage, why are people fighting? Let ADOS handle the political side. If they were really about that, I don't see what they're doing though. No, Super Black, they are melanated. Yes, they're melanated, but the black is not the same meaning as our meaning in America. It does not mean the same. American descendants of chattel slavery, no one else can identify as that, just us, Pinky Wells says. Lynn says ADOS Advocacy Foundation is not advocating for Black Americans only. They advocate for all melanated immigrants. Then they're not for us if they're advocating for everybody. Super Black says good luck when they try that argument publicly. Whatever. Pinky Wells says Yvette is ADOS and Tariq is FBA. Yvette and Tone asked Tariq to join them. He wanted to be the leader, the face. They said no, so he made FBA. Yeah, he grifted hard off of ADOS. Melanated immigrants are not American descendants of slavery, but ADOS, Advocacy Foundation Black Agency, includes them. Yeah, I didn't even know that. So I could never rock with ADOS because they're not solely advocating for Black Americans. Every other group has their own advocacy. What sense does it make for us to include immigrants in our advocacy here in America? That doesn't make no sense. They're double dipping. We don't have advocacy going on right now. You said, I asked, why couldn't we use whatever our people identified as an incrim, like Mina, and got attacked on Twitter by 2 ADOS people? I don't know what Mina is. What's that supposed to mean? Tariq is not trying to get reparations for us. He's grifting. Exactly. That's all he's doing. How you doing? Didn't have to be here running wild. Going back to work. Thank you for coming through, Pinky. He said he wasn't a leader. It's obvious he's not from what I've seen. So why are people treating him as one? Because he is speaking for a lot of people that really are not understanding that he is just grifting off of them. They really think that he's in there for fighting for us for real. And he's not. He's a poser. I don't know why people don't see him for what he is. Superback Black, we were not listening. They said that we're not black until they come to America. Notice just 10 years ago, they didn't call themselves black. Yeah, 10 years ago, that wasn't a thing. They use the term for benefits, but they will tell you their tribe or country. Exactly. They double dip and use our name for benefits. Yes, Trump 2024, Big Lou. I agree. LeBron 2024. I don't know about that. Anyways, I want to change this up and talk about Tariq Nasheed. We get the gist of what Yvette Carnell saying, that it's not as easy as it should be. And I'm saying as a self-declare your own identity and save it. Just have it notarized for an upcoming battle that may come. As you know, Tariq Nasheed declares himself a Mac, a player, a pimp. I don't know why people would trust him as they do. Is really ridiculous. Let's look at Tariq in his heydays.
Always ask me, well, what are there any lines you can give me to say to women? I tell dudes all the time, man, it don't matter what you say, it's how you carry yourself. Because some of the most powerful dudes are silent dudes who don't have to say nothing. It's just a vibe that they have. It's a certain confidence that they have. That's what women feel, man. Women feel dudes' energy. Your words are inconsequential. If you have the right vibe, the right confidence, and the right energy, you can say anything to a woman and they'll feel that. When I put the books out, people always ask me.
Again, he's using the same stuff that he's taught people. He's taught people to mac, to pimp, to play. And he's doing that stuff in real time on YouTube with our identity. I think that eventually FBA is going to be classified as a hate group, in my opinion, by how he's been running around talking about immigrants, migrants, or whatever. I think that that's eventually going to be flagged by the FBI or somebody, CIA, as being a hate group on social media. That's why I'm steering clear of FBA.
I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Anyway, it's crazy. Right about 9 ethers. You always see these Hebrew Israelites on the street corner, quote unquote, preaching God's word. Quote unquote, preaching God's word. Wearing them lampshades. But let's continue. Okay, now let's get into Mr. Tariq Nasheed. Let's get into Mr. Tariq Nasheed. I want you to listen to him now. Listen to him talk.
Boy, you black, rusted, dusty, buck-tooth fucker. On this nigga, look like a little burnt-up antelope. I know this nigga ain't talking shit. He's emerald black. That black son of a bitch. This nigga got a big red hat on, black as hell with a red hat, looking like an old school Pepsi bottle and shit. That nigga's a black motherfucker with buck teeth.
That nigga look like a beaver that got caught in an oil spill.
Now, this is Tariq Nasheed, who claims to love black people. Now, if a white person said this, they're racist. But when Tariq Nasheed says it, he's what? He's for the people. I remember Tariq Nasheed last year had some kind of reparation summit. Now imagine you nigglets paying money to talk about getting money from the government. That's one of the, he pulled off one of the greatest cons in the history of the world. He had you all paying money to talk about asking the government for money. Listen, that is one of the greatest hustles known to man. I'm going to charge y'all to talk about begging somebody for money. But you heard him. You just heard him talking about how black, now y'all say black is beautiful. Y'all tell me every day that I hate my skin. You tell me, I hate my skin, even though my skin is nowhere close to black. Even though my skin is mahogany. Even though my skin is mocha with red undertones. Even though my skin is the color of a redwood, I hate my skin. But you hear Tariq Nasheed talking very highly of black skin. Black skin. Let's hear it again.
Boy, you black, rusted, dusty, buck-tooth fucker. On this nigga, looking like a little burnt-up antelope. I know this nigga ain't talking shit. He's emerald black. That black son of a bitch. This nigga got a big red hat on, black as hell with a red hat, looking like an old-school Pepsi bottle and shit. That nigga's a black motherfucker with buck teeth. That nigga look like a beaver that got caught in an oil spill.
Foundational Black America, and look how he's talking about the darker members of the FBAs. But let's continue.
White women will get their vacation on all day. Out here in Hawaii, a lot of white women having a ball. White women will get their ass out somewhere and have a good time. That's a plus. And that's what men look for when they go out. When men go to clubs, we want to have a good time. We want to be around party girls and party people. A lot of sisters, you know, they go to the club and be mean mugging everybody, sit up in the club looking crazy. We're going to talk about that on the other show. But white women, they're at the club to have a good time. They go out to have fun. They go out to party. So that's a positive characteristic.
So he's giving you the positive characteristics of white women. Now he just compared black women and white women when it comes to having fun. He said black women go out to mean mug, white women go out to have fun. That's what he said. This is an FBA, foundational Black American. And he's praising these white queens. He's letting you know that white women like to have fun. They don't go to the club to mean mug. That's what the
He's showing you how much of a flip-flopper Tariq Nasheed is. Tariq Nasheed is not serious about our identity, but he sees it as a way of hustling us. And he's making millions upon millions off of selling his products, selling his videos, his books, his movies, whatever he's selling, you guys are buying. He's becoming a millionaire off of y'all, specific to that FBA term. He's not benefiting us one iota. I don't know why people are so impressed with Tariq Nasheed, because he's obviously a con artist. And it's sad that we're so easily influenced by the likes of a Tariq Nasheed. Let me see what you guys are saying. Mina is Middle Eastern North African. Oh, okay. That's what that means. Thank you for that, Volvo. What's up, Easy X and everybody in the clouds and everybody in the chat room? You said Yvette blocked me for questioning her black agenda. Bullet point. I didn't agree that she should fight for other black people. That's confusing as hell. See, I didn't even know that she was doing that. What's up, Johnny Boy, Crisis King, you say. Johnny Boy, hello from Ireland. How are you doing? I like some of his points, but I refuse to buy anything he sells. Yeah, some of the things that he says does make sense about the immigrants, does make sense about people using our history to benefit themselves off of our history. That's what they're doing. So he's pointing out what is obvious that we can see. Danielle says, first off, we are brown and we can always have our own identity, except that nowadays everything is being mimicked from what was taught, because we all know everything is a learned behavior. Well, the reason why I still call myself black, because it's on my birth certificate, and that's what, we were known to be for hundreds of years before the African American term came. I didn't change my name from Black American to become African American. I refused that term at the age of 16. I've never used it, but they still try to apply that term to us. Bro, skin color don't matter. Okay, David says, your skin is mocha. Love your skin, man. Stop complaining. Ben Over says, why are you so insecure about being black? No one is insecure about being black. We are describing what black means in America, though, which is not the same as what you guys are trying to make it mean, unfortunately. You said you're a grown man being insecure about being black. You're talking about the guy on the video, I assume you're talking about? I already read your comment. To be fair, that is when Tariq was fighting Tommy Sotomayor. I'm not a fan of either. Yeah, neither one. Oh, yeah, he's calling him crispy. Both guys are hustling. Yes, they are. No, we're not all one. Sorry about that. We're not all one. That's what you would like us to believe, though. But we're not all one. Everybody has an agenda. The immigrants that are coming here, do you think that they care that we're here, or do you think that they're trying to get to where we're at and be like us and replace us, is what they're doing? They're not trying to be one. They're trying to be takeover artists. So that's not true. Let's get back to this video and see if he's going to say anything else about Tariq.
That's what the sisters do. Let's continue.
Another good characteristic about white women generally come from pretty decent family backgrounds. A lot of white women, they have the mom and dad in the home. That really affects the way women are brought up. That affects the way they think. That affects the way they deal with men. So that's a plus.
Now,
A plus about white women. White women are usually health conscious.
Now, listen to what he's saying now. Now, he just said that white women know how to have a good time. And he said that most white women come from decent households. So does that mean that most white folks aren't racist? Out of his own mouth, he said that most white women come from decent households as opposed to black women. So wait a minute. The white households are decent, which means the black households aren't. Single parent households. Now, is America racist or isn't it? Are the white women raised right or aren't they? Because what I'm hearing is white women are raised correctly and black women are not. This is Tariq Nasheed, the king of the foundational black American. Foundational Black American. And I want a name for it. Fries, bacon, I need something else. Starts with an A. But Foundational Black American. This is what he's saying. He's comparing not just white women, but black households to white.
White women are very particular about their health and keeping their weight in order. White women would damn near become anorexic before they let themselves go, generally. Now, there are some fat white women out there, but generally, a lot of white women are very health conscious. If you go to the gym, you see a lot of white women in there getting their workout on. Uh-oh. Putting that Hall & Oates on your ass right there. So white women like to get their workout on. If you drive through the suburbs early in the morning, you see a lot of white women out there jogging.
Now listen what he said about white women. He said that white women know how to have fun. White women were raised correctly. White women know how to treat men. And white women are also health conscious. They also work out. So he's giving you the list of positive attributes towards white women for a reason. Because the contrast is to what black women are not. Now this is Tariq Nasheed, the king of, somebody said, say apple, so we say apples. So fries, beans, and applesauce. Foundational Black American.
White women will stay in shape. That's a good attribute.
Again, those were past hustles that he had that are emblazoned in the YouTube videos. There's so many videos of Tariq Nasheed on another tip. Right here, he's trying to be like a pimp. In this video,
Anybody can say there's a pimp. I go to a club and a lot of young guys, I'm a pimp, I'm a pimp, I'm a pimp. But you can tell them the attitude. I even wrote a book on the game, man. I got a book. I'm one of the 5 pimps in history to actually have a book about the game. That's why I'm so well known around the country, besides my impeccable pimping skills.
So do you think the way I'm looking at this is off, or do you think it's on? I mean, it's, because I look at Congress, I see them selling themselves out. We've tried so many things to get some order. Yeah, well, it's all failed. So you're like the last resort, all right? Yeah. If you can go down there as our pimp and bring some order to this house of ill repute, I think America would applaud you.
Will America applaud a pimp? I'm gonna show them how to do that.
If you do this, if you slap them around a bit and get them, knock some sense into their head, and at the very least, if they're going to be whores for the people.
Okay, well, I will pimp for America. How about that? When I get my Mac on, I like to learn some of the local customs. So I went to visit one of my homies. He's an expert. That's Nick Nyhart over at Public Campaign. He knew all the players on my new block. Slick Nick, I want to get some of this Washington, D.C. lingo in my Rolodex. What's a campaign contribution?
A campaign contribution is a sum of money given to a person who's running for office to help them further their campaign.
Okay, so that's basically the cheddar that you guys are spreading around here in Washington, D.C. That's the money.
That's the money. That's the big money. And I don't think the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House members would be getting all that money unless the people who gave it to them expected something in return.
So basically, we got a bunch of hoes for the politicians, turning tricks for the lobbyists, and and the tricks are favors, illicit favors that they really shouldn't be doing to get some of this contribution money, right?
About $3 billion this year.
Well, you looking at a $3 billion pimp. You feel me, Nicky? Slick Nick? Man. So take me to the Capitol, homie. Let's go over and get some of this Congress money.
I had more than 500 new hoes to bring into my stable, so I headed straight for the mother lode, the U.S. Capitol building.
What's up, baby? I'm the new Mac in town. Look at all you hoes. Y'all keep on taking that oil money.
You don't think that he's a plant, y'all? Do y'all really don't think that he is not a plant? He has not been sent. He's been sent. And he's pimping so-called FBA. Look at this.
I'm a cheddar. You little stable of bitches. Wait, who's your homeboy right here, man? Hold on, I'm spitting game with this bitch. What's up, baby? You don't want to work for a real pimp? Oh, really? Looking good, though. I'm sorry, I came to the wrong place. Oh, I just want to spit a little game at you, baby.
Okay, I gotta go.
Oh, man, y'all need to get off on this, man. I can hook you up. What's up, baby? Come over here and holler at a real pimp.
Gotta go vote, man.
No one would disrespect me like that unless they already had a pimp. And in this town, that's the Democratic and the Republican parties. These pimps bring in millions. They weren't just going to let me in on the action. So I went down there to tell them that their services were no longer needed now that a real pimp was in town.
So my thing is, I just want to show y'all how a real pimp does it, and I just want to let you know that they working for me now. You deal with them. The hell they don't.
People in Pennsylvania, people in Texas.
They work for the pimp of Los Angeles because I done went and put the shoe on their ass. This is the new game now. I came in to DC to get my pimp on. I'm just like you. But the thing is, them hoes go through me now. They're my stable. You feel me, J-Dog? And I'm coming to you pimp to pimp because, you know.
And guess who's the new hoe?
The rules of the game is that if you knock another pimp's hoe, you got to go check the pimp and let him know what's up.
Well, it sounds to me like you're quite upset and you're very disenchanted, like most Americans are, at the Republican majority in their efforts to kill campaign finance
baby,
reform.
J-Dog, I'm not upset with you, man. I mean, you know, I don't hate the player, I don't hate the game. You know what I'm saying? I don't play or hate, I congratulate, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I think we're probably done for the...
Come on, man. One last thing, man. Really, who are you giving your money to, man? Because I might know. I'm telling you, I've been checking bitches all week, man.
Well, I really resent your use of that word, so I would ask...
What word, bitch? That's what they are. I mean, what, you resent the truth? They bitches, they hoes, and you a pimp. I mean, really, what other euphemism can we use? I like you, man, I'm telling you. We're on the same page with this pimp game, baby. It's all to the good.
And just like that, he is pimping on YouTube and fucking up our identity and fucking with people's minds about what they're doing for real in regards to Black American identity. And it's very interesting how people just miss that part of his life. He wrote books about pimping and macking. What else can you say about the man? But people swear that FBA is a legit thing. And I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. Let me see what you guys are saying. Yeah, he's always been an agent. What's up, Easy Axe? How you doing? Bend Over says, we all one, period. Thinking we are not, then this is primitive. Go to Africa and tell them they're all one. Go to the bordering countries of Africa and tell them they're all one, that they're no longer tribes, that they don't belong to anymore. Let them know. Don't come over here with that over here. I think Tariq followers are core from many years ago when from the Hidden Colors video. Yeah, I've yet to see any of his videos, but I don't even care to watch any of his videos, to be honest with you. I don't even care to watch it. Both guys are hustling. Let me see. Let me go backwards. This is why I don't understand people see him as a leader. It's strange. It's very strange. You said, watch the video of Tariq debating the white supremacist Jared Taylor, the white guy, destroyed him literally. Yeah, I think I've seen that. Who should we replace these people with? It seems like no one else wants to step up. We have to get organized and first get rid of the Boule organizations from representing us. But first, like I said, self-identify yourself. Just do it just for your own peace of mind. Yes, the video was truly buffoonery. I don't think it was funny, The Rock, what he was doing. I don't see none of that. I don't like pimps. I don't think anything about pimps is funny. I don't think it was him. Someone researched it. I think they would have found concrete evidence by now. Easy X, what are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about when he was claimed, when people are saying that his name is really Maurice and he was involved in some type of murder. Yeah, I heard that rumor. Okay, Charlie says to bend over, you have to respect people for who they are and who they say they are. But that's a hard thing for them to do. You said, I say this as a white man, all women are crazy, but y'all gotta love them, yin and yang. Okay. No what's primitive is not forward thinking, and the one big Negro ideology. Yeah, they want us to all be one block of black, which is ridiculous. It does not benefit us at all over here. You said, I didn't even know about Tariq until the beef between him and Yvette started. I was late to his grifting on black people. He is a panty anyway. He's going to flip. Mark my words. He's going to flip back to being Pan-African. If someone gives him the right amount of money, I think that he will flip quickly. That's why I'm not putting my, I'm not putting nothing on what Tariq Nasheed says. Yeah, some things that he says is very factual. But anyone could say things that's factual and also grift. So, anyways, I think that we should self-identify, in my own opinion. Go get it notarized. Declare your own identity. Put that in a file for safekeeping. This identity issue is going to keep coming up and rearing its head. We have too many immigrants that's over here using our name, and we just need to make a distinction ourselves, in my opinion, because Yvette Carnell is not going to really do it. I don't see her doing it, and I definitely know Tariq Nasheed is not going to do it. If you guys trust in that man, then whatever happens, you're going to go down the drain with that name, FBA. And I believe with all the rhetoric that he has on social media, it will be classified eventually as a hate group. Now, speaking of African-American term, I found a video talking about why we should stop calling ourselves African-American. I've never called myself that, though. But I want you guys to hear this video, and then I'm going to conclude this video.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. I have a very, very interesting topic that I'm going to be covering today. One that I hope that you would tune in for and share with others. We're going to be going into this. This is something that is very, very interesting. Bear with me just a moment. As always, I like to share the broadcast link with others so that they can join in as well. Yes, what you are seeing on the screen is an actual thing. For me, I would say that the rabbit hole continues to go deeper and deeper. Some of us, we don't know or understand what's going on. And so we just kind of shove things off to the side as if they do not matter. Grand rising to everyone joining us in the chat as well. Thank you, Miss Alford. Thank you. That is my name before marriage. So, of course, I'm always very interested if I see an Alfred pop up. in the chat. So again, I'm going to be sharing this, and I want you to share it as well. Interesting topic ahead, family. Giving you something else to think about. Something else to think about. Something else to understand. And of course, I like to understand things from a biblical standpoint. I don't like to just come across information and just take it as such. How do I understand this from a biblical standpoint? What is going on? That's what I like to know. That's what I like to understand, and I want you to consider it as well. So now that we have shared the broadcast with others, I'm going to be diving right in. And again, I want you all to share it as well. Okay? Those of you who are going to watch this on the replay, I want you to share it as well. Now, of course, many of you that follow this channel, you already know that we know who we are historically. When you trace our ancestry way back during biblical times, we link right up to where we're supposed to. Okay, according to the Bible, it is clearly prophesied who we are, but a lot of our people don't know. Many of our people do not know who we are historically. And so this is why we have taken the time to put together the White It Out series and many other broadcasts to shed some light on that subject. Okay? So anyway, I want to talk about this. I want you all to know that it's very important that we stop calling ourselves African American. It is now a trademark that covers beef, pork, and canned goods. Interesting. Interesting. So someone now owns the trademark with the words African American. Yes, it did happen, y'all, a few years back. And so it makes you wonder when they have African American on certain forms that we have to fill out. What are we actually checking off? I remember one time when they did a census, and I told the woman, I said, well, I don't see what I am on this census form. She says, well, you would be considered blah, blah, blah. I said, no, that's not what we are. I said, I want to, is there another option for us? Because that's not it, right? And so she made a statement, so are you refusing to identify? And I said to myself, they always go to, oh, you're refusing, as if you're being rebellious, right? And I said, no, that's not what we're doing. I said, there needs to be another designation for who we are, because this, and at the time I didn't know anything about this African American trademark, right? But it trips me out how other people, they get offended when you don't call yourself what they label you as. Interesting. I'm looking at what Jotham Fitzgerald has said here. It says we don't call ourselves as the whole Yashel or Yehuda because of fear of the power structure. We have to break the chains in our minds, absolutely. And what's interesting is if you do try to call yourself what you are historically, they call you anti. They call you anti-ish. You know what I mean? Love says their 7th grade teacher got offended when she said, why do y'all call us black when we are brown? Then he said they call us white when they call us white when we're peach and pink or something. Okay, so I've always questioned that as well. Where did these color designations come from? Because black definitely doesn't represent what I am, right? I looked at my skin a long time ago. When I was a teenager, my very first business was called Brown is Beautiful. I kid you not, I was a teenager. I went to downtown Detroit. I registered that name as a DBA. That's how serious I was about this a long time ago. I registered the business Brown is Beautiful in the city of Detroit decades ago because I felt like it was inappropriate to call us black, because when I look in the mirror, I do not see black. So, anyway, I'm going to dive into this topic. I want you all to take a look at some information here that I find to be very interesting. And it makes you wonder, why would a person go out and decide that they're going to trademark the term African American? And when you look at the trademark symbol, I'm going to show you that as well. It trips me out that someone, not someone, actually a company decided to trademark this. Interesting. Who knows what goes on in the minds of people, but I know one thing for sure. As many always say, we live rent-free in just about everybody's brain. That's why the scripture that talks about all these other nations taking crafty counsel is so befitting to us. So befitting. So befitting, because all of these other nations have us living rent-free in their brains. Because I went to look up to see if anyone had coined a statement like Asian American as a trademark. I went to see if there was any other nationalities that were trademarked as well. And I didn't find it. If y'all can find it, let me know. I don't mean a trademark like Asian American Trade Corporation, nothing like that. I'm talking about just the term Asian American or Latino American. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, because you could have something, a business that's Asian American cuisine. That could be a trademark, but that's talking about the cuisine. I'm talking about the people, or the phrase that's assigned to the people. Are there any others, such as Asian American, Latin American, Japanese American, or any other that have been trademarked like African American? If you find it, let me know, right? And also, when you see what it covers, it says the trademark covers beef, pork, canned goods. So, I've been seeing that FBA, someone enlightened me on that. Judah says African American, Black, and FBA are considered bywords. I've been seeing that. I guess that BA stands for Black American or whatever. Or what does the FBA stand for as it relates to so-called Black people? That's another reason why I say so-called, because that's what folk call us. Foundational Black Americans. Okay, thank you. Brenda asks, so what are we supposed to call ourselves? Well, Brenda, historically speaking, we are from the tribe of Yehuda. Okay, this is why it's very important that we research history, because they have been giving us all of
By the way, she's a Hebrew Israelite. I don't subscribe to what she means, Huda, whatever, but I did not know the African American term was trademarked into other animals. So calling ourselves that, you're linking yourself up to beef, pork, canned goods. We need to get away from that African American term, y'all, for real. Come on.
Different names. They've been throwing them out there, and we have to abide by what they say. But we historically were called the tribe of Judah. We are from the tribe of Yehuda. If you haven't seen it already, take a look at the Whited Out documentary series, and it will give you some information on that. Yaz Dreamer said they heard we're also Moroccan. Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal. The whole planet the whole planet was melanated at one point. So in any region of the world, even the term Moroccan, these names were names assigned by European conquerors, right? So even Africa is not even appropriate for who we are, because we were never called Africans. That is a name that came from a white man whose name was Africanus. Okay, and the America, that wasn't something we were called. All of these lands had names before the conquering or the conquest by Europeans. They all had other names. So again, we weren't even called Africans. So all of this African American stuff, none of it was really us, but this is what they called us. So we just kind of go along with everything, even aboriginals, we weren't called aboriginals either. That just simply means the original people of the land for the most part. But so that's not really a racial designation. It just shows that you are the original people, the aboriginals, you see. So I want to get into the documentation that is associated with this trademark and why we should stop calling ourselves African American. Okay? Someone in the chat says American because we are citizens of the United States of America. Well, but the problem is you don't see on documentation, you don't see it called white American or European American. They use African American as our racial designation. You don't see that for other people. Even when you look on government forms, it says white. It just says white. That's not even a racial designation. But that's like, hey, white is anyone who is not black or in between. You see? And so that's why it's strange that they call us African American. And that's right, as Design says, people get offended when we say that we're Israelites from the tribe of Judah. When we identify who we are historically from a biblical standpoint, folk get upset. That's right, love. You don't see a Mexican American either. On the forms, they don't have all of that. They don't put American after it. And as far as black, we are definitely not black. As I stated before, there was another name assigned to us. And at a very young age, I felt like that was wrong because I didn't see a black person when I looked in the mirror. I saw brown. And again, for those of you who are just joining us, my very first business that I registered in the city of Detroit when I was a teenager was called Brown is Beautiful. I guess that was my little form of rebellion at that time. Very young. And it wasn't a crazy rebellion. It was more like why are they calling us black? Brown is beautiful. I used to hear people say black is beautiful, and I said, no, brown is beautiful because I am brown. Truth be told, there are no truly black people on the planet. Now, I've seen some really, really dark African or Hamite descendants, but they would be considered also a darker shade of brown. That's what I consider it. And I agree with what Fakriya said. I brought this point out many years ago because I noticed that they called brown cake, chocolate cake, they called that devil's food cake. And they called white cake angel food cake. So that was another reason why I decided to establish brown is beautiful, because when I looked at the terminology for bad, it meant everything that was bad, sinister, evil, rotten to the core. And when you look up the term white, it says pure, holy, righteous, and all these other things. And so I knew that was another form of sorcery that was being placed upon our heads. I knew that there was some type of witchcraft that was put into the atmosphere. We're going to be getting into this stuff a lot more because You all need to understand the psychological impact, the spiritual impact, and the demonic forces of sorcery that come against us as a people on a daily basis, and you don't even know it or realize it. Don't even know it or realize it. That's right, Michelle says that's why they keep playing with words. They called us colored, Negro, African American, and all kinds of other things, if you know what I mean. We've got to be more interested in tapping into the understanding of a spiritual thing, the spiritual fight that we're in. That's right, Dezane, Black Friday, Black Sheep, all of these things associated with evil as it relates to so-called Black people, melanated people. And I believe that the sorcery plays a deep role of our people. And again, I want to get into that. I want you all to understand how certain things carry over into our minds as a people. That's right, Yah's Dreamer. They call us everything but a child of God, literally. That's right. That's right. And guess what? We are the children of Yah. But if you can be convinced otherwise, then you will behave otherwise. But anyway, let's get back into this African American trademark. I want to go ahead and show you all that this is actually a trademark that has been registered and established. Here it is. Let's go. Okay, if you go to here on the site called Justia Trademarks, okay, you will see African American, and then it shows the trademark details. They even have a logo that look, a map. Look at that, of Africa. This is the African American trademark, and it has the serial number here, the registration number. The word mark is African American. Okay, status is registered. The status date, 12/27/2016. The filing date was 12/29/2014. So it took a couple of years for it to get, I guess, completed. The registration date is the same as the status date. So I guess that's when it was whatever, possibly approved. Okay. Mark drawing or design, which also includes words. So the words and the map are the trademark. Okay, and then they go on to describe it. Africa, straight lines, bands, horizontal. Okay. That was the attorney, I guess, who did this. The employee name. It says indication of colors claimed. Color is not claimed as a feature of the mark. They only, okay, the disclaimer with predetermined text. African American. Okay. It says the mark consists of a stylized outline of the African continent with 4 horizontal lines defining 5 horizontal bands of sections, with the word African, with the word American forming an arc above the outline, and the word African forming a concentric arc above the word American. So there we go. Another description. Goods and services, mouse pads, bibs of paper, stationery, mugs, bibs not of paper, t-shirts, beef, canned vegetables, chicken, pork, barbecue sauce, coffee, hot sauce, tea, fruit-flavored drinks, soft drinks, namely soda. So all of these.
Now, who and what God's green earth would possess somebody to trademark African American and call it all other things but human? We got to get away from African American. We got to get away from all these identifications in America and self-identify ourselves, because again, people are playing with us. This don't make no sense right here. But this is what has happened, y'all.
The goods and services that's represented under the African American trademark. Okay, and so here's some additional information. The company that owns the trademark is called African American Inc. Okay, it's a corporation. It's a corporation. Here's some other information concerning that. Now, here is an article concerning that. Before I get to the article, though, I just wanted to show that that is the information that they are sharing concerning yes.
The solution is self-identification of your own identity. That's what I say. There's too many issues with all these so-called identities on YouTube. Also, the African American term is cursed. It's been cursed since the beginning. And I just think that we all collectively could self-identify and just call ourselves American and just do away with all this other mess that we're finding ourselves in. This is propaganda somehow to keep us stagnated with believing that ADOS is a legit organization or FBA is a legit lineage. I think that we should be proactive and just self-identify and not really, I mean, you can acknowledge those terms for some of the people that are American identity. That's a part of that, but I see a problem with FBA coming up as a hate speech or hate group. I really see that because there's so many people like Mike TV and others that are constantly attacking Africans, and I can just see that becoming a problem down the line. I don't want to have no affiliation with FBA for that reason. That's why I've done what I've done back in 2021. You guys might think it's crazy, but I feel like I did it for safety purposes, just in case shit hits the fan, and I'm sure that it will, so that it could be understood who is who for your own peace of mind. Let me see what you guys are saying, then I'm going to wrap this up with a little bit of music just to end it. I thought it was interesting that someone trademarked that, though, and what they're classifying that to mean. Pork and beef and everything else but humans. It's crazy. Everybody's playing with our identity. Let me go back up. Let me see. Let me see. Also, for Black, look into Jason Black, the Black Authority. He still push flat black. They all do. They all do. Yeah, just be American. I simply call myself American, but because it's on my birth certificate as black, so that people will know that I'm not an immigrant, and because it's on my birth certificate, I acknowledge black as the category that they gave us. But I do consider myself just simply American. Do we have our own identity? We are American Indians. You didn't know? I know that we do have Indian ancestry, but I don't call myself Indian because we're mixed up. I call myself just American more so than anything. Also for Black, okay, I read that already. All of this B1 shit is flat black Pan-Africanism. BA1 is what I prefer. Black American first. Facts. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Born Critic says, I saw that trademark a long time ago. That's why I laughed when people say that about FBA, Juneteenth, etc. being made up and trademarked. Asians own African American. Is that right? I don't know why people are so obsessed with us. Everywhere we go, everybody wants to put ownership to us somehow. It's crazy. Deetra Bello says, I would never call myself Scottish American. To me, I was born and raised in America, and I have nothing to do with Scotland, so why would I claim to be Scottish? I am proud to be an American, and that's all. I heard that. If only we could get there as Black Americans. If only if we could just call ourselves Americans and get away from all the other identities, it would make things a lot easier. But people are having a hard time just accepting that they're American. You said, I saw that, and I think Michi X decided to trademark FBA to get at Tariq Nasheed. So she said she did. I remember hearing that. Why does my phone keep doing that? All right, you said, it doesn't sound right. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Because you are Scottish and someone from Scotland immigrated here after this was a country, Charlie Shaw says. How could we be from one tribe if we are mixed with Africans, natives, and whites, etc.? That's what I'm saying. We're all mixed up. We're just American. We're not one thing. So that's why I don't claim to just solely be Indian, because we are mixed, raced. Hi, Charlene, you are right. But what I am saying is I want to be known as American because I am proud of my country. If an American-born person would... Wait, where was I? Skip something. My phone is tripping. Why won't you let me read that? Because I'm proud of my country. If American-born person went to Scotland, then you would say America Scottish. It doesn't even sound right. Damn, that's effed up. Never liked that name anyway. I've never liked African American. Michi X trademarked FBA because she didn't get along with Tariq. So she said she went through and trademarked it. I don't, if she did, oh well. We need to trademark copper tone. Yeah, that would be nice. What's up, Tyron? You're kind of late today, but thank you for coming through. Please like and share the video. Please subscribe to my channel. I hope that people listening to this video that is American, Black American, you understand why you should self-identify, because we have so many different things against us in our identity. And the people that's supposed to be fighting for our identity is not really doing anything. And so you should not leave it to chance for what's going on social media to be covering what your identity should be for yourself. You should really take ownership of your own identity, in my opinion. Drop AA from our description unless you actually know your African side of your family. I don't think any of us that are Black Americans that's only known America should be calling themselves African American. It's just silly. I called out Mike TV, Goofy Ass, and Tariq. Did you? How you doing, Four Rivers? Thank you for coming through. And this is Downing of the Age of the Aquarius. This play. I don't know what you mean. Yes, good topic. Self-identity is very important. American, exactly. The FBA flag is fake shit. He steals symbols from the Russian communists. This slave red, white, and blue, and swish double yellow axe flag on a red background. American Indian was the Black Americans' original identity because America was called India on some map. Nowadays, the Asians are seen as the American Indians by design. Yeah, that's done on purpose. He claimed 1526 the year he alleged Africans came here, Tyron says. Other races should not be able to trademark a phrase that identifies another race. They still doing it. I did in my TV was talking shit about my identification of Indian heritage. Isn't Mike TV saying that he is part of an Indian tribe, though? I'm confused. I think that he said he has his card of enrollment in the Indian tribe somewhere. So I'm surprised he did not allow you to speak on his platform, if that's what you're referring to. Anyways, we have got to self-identify. Everybody thinks that we shouldn't have our own claim to our own identity, from Pan-Africans to Africans to immigrants to the WACP, NAACP, to the Black Caucus, to anybody. They are really leaving us high and dry while we're being invaded by illegal immigrants all over the place. This is going to be a issue coming up with all these millions of immigrants coming over here. We have got to self-identify. And the simplest way is to declare your own identity through a notary republic or notary. Get it notarized. Get it notarized. Go to a post office or somewhere where you can get a notary to acknowledge what you have declared, but your own writing. Declare your own identity, then have it signed in front of that notary person, have them put the stamp on notary and date it, and keep it in a file for safekeeping. What I did further is sent and submitted my identification declaration to the Black Caucus and to a district attorney, just for acknowledgement that they only received acknowledgement from the district attorney. The Black Caucus has never, ever acknowledged me sending them anything, but I have proof that I sent it. I kept a receipt to show that I did send it to them, just in case years from now there is a question about our identity, or if someone dares to try to change our identity. I'm not going for it. I'm not having it, and I hope that you guys will protect your own identity by notary signing of your identity, to just make it be known that you're not gonna let them just play with your identity like that, because they keep playing with us, and it's not gonna end if you don't do something first about it. In my opinion, it's not gonna end. You said Mike got the card on his father's side of the family. Oh, is that what he did? Yeah, send those documents certified mail. That's what I did. To have evidence of receiving party, I did that for the Black Caucus and for a district attorney. I had it certified mailed. That's what you do. An African American is not on my birth certificate. No, it's not on mine either. So that's why I'm not using that term ever. So now I'm going to play a little bit of music. If you have some songs you want to hear, let me know. I have some already raring to go. I appreciate everybody for listening, but there's a whole lot of people out here, think about it, that really are having an issue with us identifying ourselves as anything. And I say, F them. Get over yourselves. We have a right, just like everyone else, to identify themselves as what they want. And America's supposed to be the place where you can be whatever you want to be. We need to utilize that rights. Utilize that right, because again, people are taking us for granted.
Without a destination reach, I'm an ever-spinning top, whirling around till I drop. Oh, but what am I to do? My mind is in a whirlpool. Give
little hope. One small thing to cling to. You got me going in circles. Oh, round and round I go. You got me going in circles. Oh, round and round I go. I'm spun out over you. I'm a faceless bar with timeless hopes that never stop. Lord, but I feel that way. Oh, my soul is dead. Oh, but what am I to do? My mind is in a whirlpool. Give me a little hope. One small thing to cling to. You got me going in circles. Oh, round and round I go. You got me going in circles. Oh, round and round I go. I'm spun out over you. Over you. Spun out over you.
I definitely went old school with that one, but I used to love that song. I don't know what year that was. Man, it got to be the 70s or even 60s probably. But a song that I haven't heard in a while, but I loved back in the day, Rick James and Smokey Robinson, Ebony Eyes.
Sun on your skin, you're looking good, girl, all over again. Hey there, Miss Brown, I want you to know I love you. Brown was the sand, you're soft as the shore. You're leaving me hungry, crying for more. We baby, girl, you're such a star, and I want you to know that I love you.
That was Rick James and Smokey Robinson, Ebony Eyes. Now, another song that I have already selected, I see nobody's putting in what they want to hear. So I have Levert, Smiling. That was Levert. I think two of the three have passed on, but that was a great song. And here now is Digital, or is it Digitable Planets? Cool Like That. Thank you for the selection, Forest River. Oh, this is just a musical. It's not playing the actual song. Hold on. This might not work for this song. Let me play the other song that you have in mind. That one is only showing it's a karaoke version. Let me see. Surface lyrics. Okay, I'll play this one. Haven't heard this song in a long time. Okay, what is it? Easy X. I can look it up while this song is playing.
When I'm feeling discouraged, nothing seems to go my way. You lift me up and give me courage to face this world another day. I get excited when I see you, shiver when I look in your eyes. I'm glad I found you and I won't let go, and be forever by your side. Every day, all night. You're right. All night. When I need a friend to talk to, you tell me what I need to hear. And when I need someone to hold me tight, I turn to look in you up here. No one else can do the things you do, and ask for nothing in return. Now let me show how much I care for you, giving all the love that you deserve. 'Cause you're mine, my everyday, and I want the world to know you are the one in my life, and I want you to stay in my heart. You comfort me. That's why I can truly see that you're mine. That's how I think about you, baby. You're
Last but not least, that was, for those that don't know, Surface, You Are My Everything. I think Regina Bell was in the chorus. her voice sounds familiar. Here is Isley Brothers, Cooling Me Out. This is the last song selection. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed any of the music or any of the topic or conversation brought forth by this channel, please like the video, please share the video, subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Here we go.